To pray, there's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kira's show here. Now, whenever we last left off, Umbrex was working on trying to get onto the Green Lantern homeworld and plotting to infect their power battery. Along with that, he does want to break into the armory and see what kind of weaponry his enemies do possess. Now, let us begin. Umbrex is waiting, slowly picking off lanterns day after day, and deciding that today seems like the perfect opportunity. He needs to do this. He has gathered about 50 to 25 lantern rings. These rings are going to broadcast distress signals all over the universe. There are over 3,000 sectors of the DC universe. Each lantern assigned to one sector. That being highly risen due to the new, parameters of the rings. You basically just have to have enough willpower and possess it to control a ring. That's basically how you get it now. That's sort of like, what is it? You have to be able to overcome great fear and do a bunch of certain tasks. Anyways, now, Midori would have sent each ring out into the universe, after corrupting them, flying onto the homeworld after watching dozens of lanterns leave. Now, after landing on the surface, the ring would just state creating 3D mapping, beginning to scan the area. Midori just asking Umbrex exactly what are they doing here. This place isn't somewhere safe, is it? No, it's not. In fact, I believe that you wanted to see this place. Welcome to Mogo. Well, actually, yeah, now Mogo is the living planet. This is Oa. Now, Umbrex should just state that Oa, the planet, is one of the biggest manufacturers of rings in the entire universe. In order to get what I want, I need to understand what they do here. Flying around the planet, creating maps and beginning to look around for the battery. Eventually they do find a communications hub and begin to patch into it. Their ring is not a Green Lantern ring. It is actually beginning to corrupt and make this piece malfunction. As soon as that does happen, they would have flown away and wait for more Green Lanterns to show up. Whenever they do, Umbrex would, with one swift motion, take them all out, slicing through them with blades and killing them, slicing off some of their heads and other body parts in a brutal fashion, and taking their rings, sliding each one on and corrupting them to his own core. Walking forwards. Meanwhile, someone is in the upper atmosphere, observing this and waiting. They want to know exactly what he will do, and that if it works well, then they are going to be having a lot more trouble. Now, after Umbrex's find the Green Lantern, power battery, he would just hold out his hand, a ring flying off and going directly into the center. A large portion of this ultraviolet light spreading throughout the battery. going to each corner before receding. And Umbra to state that he now has the communications for, well, the Green Lanterns. The ring returning to Midoriya's hand, and him turning around, looking through multiple transmissions, along with actually hearing one out in space. They are saying that all units be advised. On Oa, we believe that we have seen, or at least have a reported sighting, of the Ultraviolet Lantern. We have recently lost contact with units stationed there. Midoriya just looking up, and kinda confused at what he's seeing. You must be Umbrex. Why, hello, Hal Jordan. Pleasure to meet your acquaintance. Well, I would say the pleasure's all mine. Hal Jordan just bringing his hand up, as his ring goes from, well, having no light in it to coursing with it, and it just pouring out of his body. Umbrex, confused as he does look to his right, saying Saint Walker of the Blue Lanterns. Of course they call for backup. Silly support classes. Umbrex is throwing his hands up. Everyone's seeing the rings as they would rush forwards, Midoriya beginning to blast in that direction. Now, that would be whenever Atrocious up in the upper atmosphere would send out the signal. The Red Lantern Corps invading Oa and heading in. Now, whenever they do arrive, that would be whenever more of the Earthling Green Lanterns would have been in this unit. As whenever they are blasting away and trying to help, yeah, it's beginning to get a bit messy. A lot of the Green Lanterns are being cut through and taken down fairly easily, along with Midoriya basically just slicing through and killing a lot of them, taking their rings and corrupting them, over and over and over again. Some units are trying to take down or at least stop these corrupted rings, the ones doing so being distracted from the battlefield, taken down and process repeated. Now, with that being said, Midoriya would just reach his hand out, encasing a large bundle of rings and pulling them towards him. Hal Jordan just basically creating a giant, well, bat, and swinging them away, knocking the construct far out in the distance. The rings hitting the ground and getting back up, and going to search for a new owner. Now, with that being said, Atrocious just looked that direction, staring directly at Hal Jordan, as Atrocious would come in, telling Hal Jordan that this is perfect. Umbrex is here. Yes, now Atrocious, I know we have our differences, but no, Jordan. Throwing up their hand, blasting them away with a ring, saying that his corp has made a deal. Umbrex will honor it. He might be an asshole, or, well, evil, but even he has moral boundaries. That being a bit confusing to Hal Jordan. He's not too sure what that even means. This guy has respect somehow? Yeah, about as much respect as Batman has for Green Arrow. Sure. Now, that would be whenever Atrocitus would rush towards. John Stewart stepping in and actually hitting him away. The rest of the Earthling Green Lanterns trying to step in. Along with Hal Jordan using this time to try and calm the Justice League. Jiro actually coming in and smashing him directly in the face, screaming. Midoriya actually seeing that. His eyes actually following the battle and seeing Hal Jordan fly. as he himself would go in, immediately rushing in as he would just grab Hal Jordan and send him flying through a couple of the buildings, smashing through him and actually beginning to throw him over his head, smashing him directly into the ground. This being intense and insane, as he would just encase Hal Jordan in a large bubble, being to crush down on it turning into a cube and then getting lower and lower. Hal Jordan trying to use his willpower to keep himself alive, trying to at least form something like a jack to keep the space open, while Midoriya is making clamps around each side as they begin to turn and squeeze downwards, pressing the walls closer and closer together. Midoriya's hand being sidelined and blasted away. Him turning that direction, he's going to throw out his other hand, getting blasted away by a guardian, telling him that he will not kill Hal Jordan. As they begin to fight. With this Ultraviolet Lantern here, it's nearly an all-out war. As Midoriya would have done one thing. He would have just hold out his hand, holding it directly towards the member and blasting it forwards. As a Kilowog would have stepped forwards, trying to take on the blast. As soon as he does so, he would run up a shield, it's smashing through, his constructs being nothing. Him basically just holding his hands up as he begins to tear through his flesh. Him trying to block it more and more and more. Trying to create more creations. This not working. Midoriya throwing up his other hand beginning to blast in his direction, as someone would smash into him, and send him barreling away. Him being sent through multiple buildings and smashing through them, hitting the ground and getting back up. Midoriya in his head was able to at least shake free a little bit of control, actually turning his head and looking around. As inside his body, he would hear another voice. "Young man, are you okay?" "What? Who are you?" "Ah, so you were still in there. I thought I sensed another consciousness in there." "Well, yes, but stay out of here, Martian." John, I believe as his Martian name is called, or the Manhunter, he would just look up, beginning to move forward and fly directly towards Ombrax Midoriya. Or Midoriya. I'm not really sure what to call this. Anyways, now, he would have flown forwards. Superman is busy attending to something on Earth. It's Wednesday, and Darkseid sure as shit sent parademons there in his latest attempts. Him and Lex Luthor are trying to stop him. Now, with that being said, Batman offered to help the Green Lanterns. He might be able to take this kid down. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Anyways, his contingency plans are made for Green Lanterns. Nothing more. Anyways, now, with that being said, Hal Jordan and a lot of core members will begin to just blast away at Midoriya. Him having to bring up constructs and create more things, along with actually creating machine guns. Them popping up out of the shields and beginning to fire, along with tank turrets and more helicopters. Hal Jordan actually being really surprised. This kid is taking on a good sized portion of the core, along with a Martian, and he's still able to contend with them. The Manhunter basically telling Hal that it is not like that. The kid is under the ring's control. He believes he can try and Midoriya just screaming for Manhunter to get down. A large blast being sent directly into his gut. Him being sent flying away. Him trying to rush back in and help Midoriya. As whenever he does so, Umbrax is just blasting away at each core member. Blasting away at more and more of them. Using his hands which are just covered in rings. Whenever the Martian does get directly in front of him, His right arm had just been thrown outwards, grabbing John by his throat as he does begin to try and buckle him while pull it, lifting him up off the ground, beginning to float up into the air, telling John that this is mine. This human has given up his willpower, his humanity. For this, don't you see? My willpower. No, I didn't. It's alright, young man. I believe you. Umbrax is a highly manipulative creature. Umbrax is beginning to try and squeeze down more. These Martians are nearly as durable as Kryptonians, so this is going to take quite a lot of force. Bringing up his other hand and beginning to choke out Martian Manhunter. As Jiro would have come in, watching what's going on. Her basically just blasting away at more and more of the Green Lanterns, and slicing through them. She's been a natural since she's gotten this power. And in fact, she's considered to be a brutalist with her power. Now, she would just watch as Midoriya lifts him up off the ground, Martian Manhunter repeating the same sentence. Your willpower will keep you alive. You need to fight. Gain control. Looking deeper into Midoriya's head, trying to force his way in. Midoriya feeling the physical recoil. As he would have let go. Midoriya finally made the first decision for himself in an entire month and a half. Being able to drop to the ground and just look up, with tears in his eyes crying. Now, John would be ecstatic by this. He just saved this young man. Him going to hold his hand out and get the ring from him. Jiro flying in, asking Midoriya if he is fine. John stating that this must be his beloved. Midoriya kind of confused. As, let's say one of the Guardians would have come in, blasting awake Jiro. Midoriya saying that and immediately turning, with rage in his eyes, throwing up his hands and blasting away at him. He is not sure exactly how to control his power. Whenever he blasted his hand outwards, he blasted it completely unrestrained from parallax. His limiters do not matter, as an entire blast can be heard throughout the entire battlefield, obliterating enough lanterns to cause quite a ruckus, as a chorus of dimes can be heard hitting the ground, with a ting, before getting back up and just saying, seeking, new lantern of sector, sector, on repeat. The ones that lived along with Hal Jordan would look towards the end direction of the blast. Midoriya just killed one of the Guardians, taking his head clean off, as the body would fall. Midoriya just watching his hands, and feeling fear, afraid of the power he holds. Umbrax taking back control and bending downwards, grabbing John by his throat, telling him that they are going to be taking a little ride, before blasting upwards into space. At full power. Hal Jordan in shock, trying to give chase, as they're heading straight for the nearest star. John trying to grapple and bug away from Midoriya's arm. His grasp is too tight. Him creating a construct around it, a glove and something else. Beginning to create a chain. Distance being brought between these two as Martian just begins to try and get away from it, pulling at it and yanking at it. Whenever he does break it, he does feel something creep in. Memories of his family, memories of his daughter, his son, his wife, and his own parents. Feeling fear and shame at the same time. He could not protect his planet. He failed it. and this is his fate. As Umbrax was just thrown out of his arms as hard as possible, and released the chain. Martian Manhunter, basically in so much shock right now, being tossed directly into the sun, beginning to burn up. As Marie does finally regain his composure, he would just begin to fly towards Midoriya, trying to reach out, being pulled in by the gravitational force. He knows he can't escape it as his skin is already beginning to burn away in the fire. And he would just state that, young man, listen, you must defeat Umbrax. You might be the only one capable. Do not lose hope. Do not lose will. Do not lose yourself. Before trying to just claw away at nothing. Before finally relinquishing his fate and being pulled into the star. His final words being, Hal Jordan believes you can. Now, that would have surprised Midoriya, along with Hal not too far behind. Watching as Umbrax is just, floating there in the sun. Right in front of it, right where Martian Manhunter used to be. Completely in shock. Umbrax is staring at his handiwork, as his left arm would come up. Kinda confused. Umbrax looking at this before just grabbing it and putting it back down. You are not in control here, I am. No, you're not. Midoriya's left hand bringing up to his throat. Hal Jordan just watching this. Confused. Watching as Umbrax and Midoriya are battling over control of his body. Midoriya just screaming that he got control for the first time in a month and a half. That is all he needed to show he is still here. You might have my body, Umbrax, but you do not have my mind. Beginning to just break away and tear apart some of these rings on his finger. Whenever that does happen, Umbrax would have been annoyed, as he would just begin to fly off in a direction. Midoriya still trying to fight against him. The two smashing into a nearby planetoid, a moon, and trying to battle for dominance on it. Now, with that happening, Atrocitus of the Red Lanterns would have come in, sneaking up behind Hal Jordan as he just punched him with a giant mallet. Him being sent flying, and trying to recover. As Atrocitus would just fly in, and grab Umbrax, latching him up in chains and pulling him away. The two flying as far as they can, trying to escape the Green Lanterns. Atrocitus telling Umbrax that if he has an idea, to do it now. Him saying that he's got it. Pull back the Reds. As he would just alert his ring to turn off the battery for a second. This being confusing, as every single Green Lantern ring begins to broadcast an error. Willpower dropping. 98%. 96. 92. 86. Every Green Lantern shocked by this, and returning to Oa immediately, trying to get there. Some lanterns would return, some would not. The ones that were lucky enough were closer to the planets. The ones who ignored this message fell to their death. Sadly, that is how it happens. As the battery would have been taken apart, and they would find exactly what happened. Umbrax touched their power battery, meaning that at any point he could have depowered them. So he was just trying to display power than anything else. Along with that, he has taken away one of their brothers. One of the Guardians is dead. That has not happened in a long time. Sadly, though, with everything that's been going on, death is becoming more recent in the core. Now, I do believe that that is a good part to leave this off of. And I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.